Hey folks, your OS Reviews. You're watching our video first look and a quick review of a 2-in-1 USB car charger and Bluetooth headset. It sells on Amazon for under 17 bucks and it's produced by WearPai. So it's a pretty clever design because it uses a standard cigarette lighter port that you plug in for power, and then you can charge two devices such as two phones or maybe a GPS device, provide some power, and then atop here using magnets and contact pins can wirelessly charge your earpiece when you're not using it. It uses Bluetooth version 4.1 to connect to your phone, either Android or iOS, and what's also interesting is you can simply answer the phone call just by unplugging it. Just by unplugging it from the lighter part, it will automatically start to take the call, and then of course you'll be hands-free. If your hands are occupied when driving or you're busy, this is a good way to kind of multitask and still speak to someone. And when you're done placing the call, simply pop it just magnetically into the socket and it will hang up the call automatically. So it's a pretty smart feature that we don't tend to see a lot on these 2-in-1 design products. Otherwise, the ports here are rated at 5V 1 amp only, so it's not quite suitable for charging up an Apple iPad or a more power-hungry device. However, for your general smartphone or GPS or MP3 player, it will work without any problems, and it's a smart port. It's not going to overheat or overcharge your device. Once battery is full, it's going to shut off charging to each individual port automatically. So we'll talk a little bit about the audio quality in a moment, but next, in terms of the packaging, there's access just to an instruction manual on the back, so you don't get too much, but it is documented both in Chinese and in English and tells you how to set it up, the various features, how to start pairing it to your phone, and start answering a phone call. So the actual Bluetooth earpiece itself, even though it's going to be charging or docked for most of the time, has a estimated working time of roughly 5 hours, which is pretty average for a Bluetooth earpiece. So that's going to be able to also play back music. So even though it's mainly suited as a Bluetooth headset, since there's only going to be one of these. It's a mono headset, it's not stereo. It can still play back some music if you want to use it for some quick tracks, although it's not the preferred use. So again, if you are maybe listening to some music or watching a video, it does still play back the audio, and when a phone call comes in, it will switch into that phone call mode automatically. The earpiece itself is made out of a polycarbonate plastic that doesn't attract too many fingerprints and seems reasonably well made for the low cost of the product, and the silicone tips here can also be swapped out in case this one is too tight, and overall it's pretty lightweight, so it doesn't get too distracting even if you wear it for extended periods of time. One thing I will say though is that the microphone is very close to the power switch, and so if you accidentally tap on the top, for instance, it's a little bit easy to muffle this up. It's also not super close to your mouth since the earpiece itself is so small and compact. So even though it's noise canceling, it's not the most high fidelity Bluetooth headset in the world. When we did some testing in the car earlier, it did cancel out the background sounds of the engine and also maybe the wind. But again, if you are taking it in crowded marketplaces, if you're taking it near an airport, it's not going to be the best performer as some more expensive headset we've seen, which is to be expected. But all in all, it's a very discreet and almost an invisible design, and I think that it's pretty well built as far as a low-priced headset is concerned. When it comes to the audio, it offers surprisingly a little bit of bass. It also has CVC 6.0 technology built in, which is, again, noise cancellation. That provides a little bit of distortion or static in the background if you listen super closely. So it's not the cleanest sounding audio experience in the world, but it gets reasonably loud, so you will also be able to hear your callers as well as your music if you are listening and using it for music purposes. So again, all in all, a pretty average sounding headset, especially for this price point. Some other things to quickly point out: it has a fairly ergonomic slant to the ports, which are easy to access. However, you'll notice that the ports themselves aren't super spaced apart, so if you have a slightly larger or thicker cable, it may be difficult to plug in two cables at the same time, even though it supports simultaneous charging. So all in all, this is a pretty good performer for the money, especially since it has this intelligent answer and hang up of your phone call just by plugging it back into its dock, which I think is a feature that's quite convenient and also useful for most folks. And it's a smart design since having a Bluetooth headset in your car makes a lot of sense because you can't physically actually answer the phone call because that would be illegal. So this is an interesting all-in-one solution that actually works pretty well for a sub $16 price tag. You can check out more details in our official written review, but for now this has been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. This has been the WearPai 2-in-1 Smart Bluetooth headset.